Tripoli. Peace and friendship. Treaty signed at Tripoli November 4, 1796, and at Algiers January 3, I 797. Senate advice and consent to ratification June 7, 1797. Ratified by the President of the United States June 10, 1797. Entered into force June 10, 1797. Proclaimed by the President of the United States June 10, 1797. Superseded April 17, 1806, by Treaty of June 4, 1805. TS 359, Post, page 1081. Orin. Treaty of Peace and Friendship between the United States of America and the Bey and subjects of Tripoli of Barbary. There is a firm and perpetual peace and friendship between the United States of America and the Bey and subjects of Tripoli of Barbary, made by 1070. 8 Stat. 154, Treaty Series 358-2. Translation of 12961. For a detailed study of this treaty, see 2 Miller 349. His Translatin Rom ne Ioyo 6T annured in 1297 in the Session Laws of the Fifth Congress, First Session. In a note regarding the Barlow translation, Hunter Miller stated, "Most extraordinary and wholly unexplained is the fact that Article 11 of the Barlow translation, with its famous phrase, 'The government of the United States of America is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion.' J. Bin. Is in form a letter, crude and ombuoyant and withal quite unimportant, from the Dey of Algiers to the Pasha of Tripoli. How that script came to be written and to be regarded, as in the Barlow translation, as Article 11 of the treaty is there written, is a mystery and seemingly must remain so. Nothing in the diplomatic correspondence of the time throws Ogg edition LSO contains an annotated translation from the original Arabic made in 1930 by Dr. C. Snook Hergrange of Leiden, for text, cp. 1075. Peace and Friendship, November 4, 1796, and Jan. 3, 1797-1071. The free consent of both parties, and guaranteed by the most potent Dey and Regency of Algiers. Article 2. If any goods belonging to any nation with which either of the parties is at war shall be loaded on board of vessels belonging to the other party, they shall pass free, and no attempt shall be made to take or detain them. Article 3. If any citizens, subjects or effects belonging to either party shall be found on board a prize vessel taken from an enemy by the other party, such citizens or subjects shall be set at liberty, and the effects restored to the owners. Article 4. Proper passports are to be given to all vessels of both parties, by which they are to be known. And, considering the distance between the two countries, 18 months from the date of this treaty shall be allowed for procuring such passports. During this interval the other papers belonging to such vessels shall be sufficient for their protection. Article 5. A citizen or subject of either party having bought a prize vessel condemned by the other party or by any other nation, the certificate of condemnation and bill of sale shall be a sufficient passport for such vessel for 1 year, this being a reasonable time for her to procure a proper passport. 308582739. Vessels of sither party putting into the ports of the other and having need of provisions or other supplies, they shall be furnished at the market price. And if any such vessel shall so put in from a disaster at sea and have occasion to repair, she shall be at liberty to land and re-embark her cargo without paying any duties. But in no case shall she be compelled to land her cargo. Article 7. Should a vessel of either party be cast on the shore of the other, all proper assistance shall be given to her and her people, no pillage shall be allowed, the property shall remain at the disposition of the owners, and the crew protected and succored till they can be sent to their country. If a vessel of either party should be attacked by an enemy within gunshot of the forts of the other, she shall be defended as much as possible. If she be in 1072. Port, she shall not be seized or attacked when it is in the power of the other party to protect her. And when she proceeds to sea, no enemy shall be allowed to pursue her from the same port within 24 hours after her departure. Tripoli. The commerce between the United States and Tripoli, the protection to be given to merchants, masters of vessels and seamen, the reciprocal right of establishing consuls in cash country, and the privileges, immunities and jurisdictions to be enjoyed by such consuls, are declared to be on the same footing with those of the most favored nations respectively. Article 9. The Monsian presence demanded by the Bey of Tripoli is a full and satisfactory consideration on his part and on the part of his subjects, for this treaty of perpetual peace and friendship are acknowledged to have been received by him previous to his signing the same, according to a receipt which is hereto annexed, except such part as is promised on the part of the United States to be delivered and paid by them on the arrival of their consul in Tripoli, of which part a note is likewise hereto annexed. And no pretense of any periodical tribute or farther payment is ever to be made by either party. Tan. As the government of the United States of America is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion, as it has in itself no character of enmity against the laws, religion or tranquility of Mussulman, and as the said states never have entered into any war or act of hostility against any Mahomi RTN, it is declared by Article 11. See footnote 3, page 1070. The parties that no peace shall ever produce an intern text arising from religious the harmony existing between the two countries. Article 12. In case of any dispute arising from a violation of any of the articles of this treaty, no appeal shall be made to arms, nor shall war be declared on any pretext whatever. But if the consul residing at the place where the dispute shall happen shall not be able to settle the same, an amicable reference shall be made to the mutual friend of the parties, the Dey of Algiers, the parties hereby engaging to abide by his decision. And he by virtue of his signature to this treaty engages for himself and successors to declare the justice of the case according to the true interpretation of the treaty, and to use all the means in his power to enforce the observance of the same. Peace and Friendship November 4, 1796, and Jan. 3, 1797-1073. Signed and sealed at Tripoli of Barbary the 3d day of Jumad in the year of the Hijra 1211, corresponding with the 4a day of November 1796 by JSSUF Bashar Muhammad Bey Mammat Treasurer, Ahmed Minister of Marine, Ahmed Chamberlain, Ally Chief of the Divan. Praise be to God and C. Solomon Kaya Galil Jen, of the Zero. Signed and sealed at Algiers the 4th day of Arjab 1211, corresponding with the 34th day of January L 797 by Mammat Secretary, and by the Agent Plenipotentiary of the United States of America Joel Barlow. City. The receipt. Hassan Basha Day. E1000 Spanish dollar 5 hawsers 8-inch 3 cables, 10-inch 25 barrels tar 25 du pitch du rosin. Tay. The present writing done by our hand and delivered to the American Captain O'Brien makes known that he has delivered to us 40,000 Spanish dollars, 13 watches of gold, silver and pins back, 5 rings, of which 3 of diamonds, 1 of sapphire and 1 with a watch in it, 140 piquets of cloth, and 4 caftans of brocade, and these on account of the peace concluded with the Americans. Seal. Given at Tripoli in Barbary the 20th day of Jumad 1211, corresponding with the 21 inches day of November 1796. The foregoing is a true copy of the receipt given by Jusuf Basha Bey of Tripoli. Jusuf Basha Bey, whom God exalt. The foregoing is a literal translation of the writing in Arabic on the opposite page. Hassan Basha, El Dey of Algiers. On the arrival of a consul of the United States in Tripoli, he is to deliver to Jusuf Basha Bey. Job Barlow. 1074. 500 pine boards, 500 oak. 50 bolts canvas. 10 masts without any measure mentioned, suppose for vessels from 2 to 300 ton, 12 yards. 4 anchors. Due. Tripoli. And these when delivered are to be in full of all demands on his part or on that of his successors from the United States according as it is expressed in the 10th article of the following treaty. And no farther demand of tributes, presents or payments shall ever be made. Translated from the Arabic on the opposite page, which is signed and sealed by Hassan Basha Dey of Algiers the 4th day of Arjab 1211 or the 3d day of January 1797, by Otho. Approval of use. Minister at Lisbon. To all to whom these presents shall come or be made known. Joel Barlow. Work as the underwritten David Humphreys hath been duly appointed Commissioner Plenipotentiary by letters patent, under the signature of the President and seal of the United States of America, dated the 30th of March 1795, for negotiating and concluding a treaty of peace with the most illustrious the Basha, lords and governors of the city and kingdom of Tripoli, Whereas by a writing under his hand and seal dated the 10th of February 1796, he did, in conformity to the authority committed to me, therefore constitute and appoint Joel Barlow and Joseph Donaldson Jr. or agents S. joint LVNC and separately in the Le Bussy Ness aforesaid. Whereas the annexed Treaty of Peace and Friendship was agreed upon, signed and sealed at Tripoli of Barbary on the 4th of November 1796, in virtue of the powers aforesaid and guaranteed by the most potent Dey and Regency of Algiers, and whereas the same was certified at Algiers on the 34th of January 1797, with the signature and seal of Hassan Basha Dey, and of Joel Barlow, one of the agents aforesaid, in the absence of the other. Now know ye, that I David Humphreys Commissioner Plenipotentiary aforesaid, do approve and conclude the said treaty, and every article and clause therein contained, reserving the same nevertheless for the final ratification of the President of the United States of America, by and with the advice and consent of the Senate of the said United States. In testimony whereof I have signed the same with my name and seal, at the city of Lisbon this 10 of February 1797. David Humphreys. S.E. Aben. United States Minister at Peace and Friendship, November 4, 1796, and Jan. 3, 1797-107.